My name is Ethan. I'm a computer science major at a top university. My parents are just regular workers. This spring, my mom was diagnosed with cancer during a checkup at the factory where she works. We spent all our savings on her treatment and ended up deep in debt. Considering the financial strain on my family, plus my tuition for next year, I decided to stay in my university city over the summer break and work as a food delivery driver. That morning, I was rushing on my electric scooter to deliver an order that was almost late. As I was making a turn, a car suddenly sped past me from behind. I didn't have time to brake, so I swerved, but I still clipped the back of the car. I was going too fast and hit a stone barrier on the roadside. My scooter flipped and the food spilled everywhere. Luckily, I wasn't hurt. When I got back up, I saw a young man and woman getting out of the car. The man rushed over and grabbed my shirt. "What the hell is wrong with you? Are you blind? Do you see what kind of car this is?" But when I saw the dent and chip paint on the red Maserati sports car, I panicked. I knew this car was expensive and fixing the paint would cost a fortune. The money I'd make delivering food all summer probably wouldn't even cover a fraction of the repair cost. Wiping the sweat from my face, I quickly apologized. I'm so sorry. What terrible luck. You think sorry is enough? Do you have any idea how much it costs to fix this car?" The man snapped, refusing to let it go. Just then, the woman walked over and inspected the dent. "I really didn't mean to. Besides, your car came speeding up from behind and almost hit me too." "All right, cut the crap. Let's talk about how you're going to pay for this," the man said, holding out his hand like he was ready to extort me. "How much do you want?" "Not much. Let's say 200,000, the man scoffed. I was stunned. 200,000? No way. Even if we sold our house back in my hometown, we probably couldn't get that much. It's just a scratch. How can it cost that much?" I asked, irritated. "Do you have any damn idea what car this is? 200,000 is letting you off easy." Just then, the stylish woman wearing sunglasses spoke up impatiently. "All right, let's just deal with it. Stop trying to scare him." I noticed the man, despite being dressed head to toe in designer brands, had a nasty, sharp look on his face. The woman wore sunglasses, so I couldn't read her expression. But from the way she spoke, I could tell she wasn't the type to push things too far, just because she was in the right. "Ma'am, I honestly didn't mean for this to happen. I didn't expect a car to come speeding up from behind like that." I started trying to appeal to the woman's sympathy. Before the woman could reply, the man cut in impatiently. "Enough excuses. We have places to be. Just tell us how you're going to pay." As a college student, I'd never dealt with anything like this. In the end, my only option was to call the police. Seeing me call the police, the man got even more aggressive. "If we settled this privately, I'd ask for less. Once the cops get involved and assess the damage, you'll end up paying even more." Seeing the man trying to intimidate me, the woman quickly pulled him back. "Will you shut up? Why are you trying to scare him?" The woman seemed pretty decent. I was surprised she was with a guy like him. The traffic police arrived quickly. After examining the scene and reviewing surveillance footage, they determined that both parties were at fault, but the Maserati owner bore more responsibility. The woman had been driving at the time. It seemed she was arguing with the man while driving and hadn't noticed me. According to the insurance assessment, the repairs would cost at least 100,000. The man scoffed again, holding out his hand to me. "Pay up. 50,000. 50,000? I couldn't even come up with 1,000 right now." Seeing my panic, the man sneered. "You delivery guys always darting around recklessly on your scooters. You need to be taught a lesson." I was genuinely scared. With my family already in so much debt, coming up with 50,000 felt like a death sentence. Cold sweat broke out on my forehead. Seeing how scared I was, the woman tugged at the man's sleeve. "All right, it's not that much money. Stop going on about it." She seemed preoccupied, distracted, and there was an edge of impatience in her voice. "Stay out of this. I'll handle it." The man snapped immediately. He insisted I pay the 50,000 right then and there. "I don't have 50,000, and it wasn't entirely my fault. You were mostly responsible, turning so fast like that. When you're poor, you have no choice but to argue. Kid, are you trying to get out of this? Let me tell you, you're paying today, one way or another." Seeing the man shouting, the woman impatiently pulled at him again. Then she turned to me. "Look, kid, you seem honest and I've got things to do. Let's both compromise. You cover 40,000, we'll cover 60, okay?" Just like that, She knocked 10,000 off what I owed. The man seemed angry at the woman now, still muttering curses. These damn delivery drivers are menaces on the road. They need to be taught a lesson. Hearing him insult delivery drivers, looking down on us like that, made my blood boil. Even the traffic cop frowned. Swallowing my disgust, I said to the woman, "Ma'am, you said it's your car, so if you say 40,000, then it's 40,000. But my family had some trouble recently. My mom just had surgery, and I don't have the money right now. Can I pay you back slowly as I earn it?" She was the owner and the driver, so I ignored the man and addressed only her. "Oh, look at him, playing the victim now, crying poor. What an act." The man sneered sarcastically. The woman cut him off and asked me, "What happened to your mom? What illness does she have?" The man immediately interjected, "Don't believe him. He says he'll pay slowly, but he'll probably disappear before you know it." My expression changed. I took out my wallet and showed them my student ID. "You saw my ID card earlier. This is my student ID. If you think I'll run off, you can find me at my university in my department." The woman took my student ID and glanced at it. "So you really are a top university student. Computer science, too." The police officer chimed in. "A university student delivering food. Looks like his family really is having difficulties. You have his information now. He's unlikely to run." The woman looked at me and handed back my ID. "Actually, this was mostly my fault. Since you're a student, I'll lower it again. Just pay me 20,000. If you don't have it now, you can pay it off slowly." Hearing it was only 20,000, I felt a surge of relief. This woman seemed pretty decent after all. 20,000? That's letting him off way too easy, the man yelled. "Are you going easy on him because he's young and good-looking? Got other ideas, huh?" The woman's face changed instantly. "John, what the hell are you talking about?" The man realized he'd gone too far. I sheepishly shut up. "This is still your fault," the woman snapped at him. "If it weren't for your disgusting behavior, would I have been arguing with you? This isn't over between us. You better explain yourself when we get back." I was taken aback. I couldn't believe they were actually fighting with each other. Seeing this, the officer quickly said, "All right, since that's settled, just sign the agreement so we don't block traffic any longer." The woman glanced at me. "Let's exchange contact info. How about WeChat? I can transfer the money to you there whenever I have it," I said, taking out my phone. We added each other on WeChat, signed the police agreement form, and the woman and man drove away. I gathered my delivery box and sighed. Paying for the ruined food ordered today wasn't the big deal. The worst part was being stuck with a 20,000 debt. After finishing my deliveries for the day, I went back to my dorm, pulled out my phone, and checked WeChat. That's when I learned the woman's name was Sarah. Her profile picture was beautiful. Even though she had reduced the amount to 20,000, it was still a huge sum for me. So I had no choice but to deliver food like crazy every day. I worked nonstop from morning till night, exhausted like a dog, just to make a little over 300 a day. At this rate, my entire summer vacation would be spent working just to pay her back. The thought filled me with resentment. But what could I do? I was the one who hit her Maserati. I'm the kind of person who hates being in debt. It always weighs on my mind. So, every time I saved up 1,000, I'd transfer it to her. She accepted the money each time, but never said anything. When I had free time, I'd scroll through my WeChat moments and occasionally see her posts. I knew she was rich, but she almost never flaunted her wealth on moments. Mostly, she posted pictures of food or shared philosophical thoughts. When she posted photos, they were never of her face, just an arm or her back. From her posts, I gathered she was a sensitive but slightly melancholic woman. But in my eyes, she was just my creditor. I also knew we lived in different worlds. I was struggling at the bottom, while she was at the top of society. So, we never actually chatted. Until one day, she suddenly messaged me, sent me a red packet. Seeing her message, I froze. I didn't understand what she meant. I had just sent her 1,000 a few days ago. Why was she suddenly asking for money now? Would a woman who drives a Maserati really be short on cash? Besides, I didn't have much money myself. Just as I was about to explain and ask if I could wait a few days, she sent another message. Any amount is fine. What did that mean? Had she lost a bet or a game with someone? Shaking my head, I sent her a red packet for 88 yuan. I'd definitely deduct this from my debt later. After sending the red packet, I went back to delivering food. That evening, she messaged me again. First, a location pin. Then, another message, come meet me now. I stare at my phone, completely baffled. I had no idea what she wanted. I sent back a question mark, asking if she'd sent it to the wrong person. No sooner had I sent it than she initiated a voice call. I had no choice but to answer. Sarah, before I could finish, she cut me off. Get over here now. Hurry. Sarah, what do you need me for? I still have deliveries to make. Come have a drink with me. I was baffled again. Calling me out of the blue to drink with her? Was she crazy? But I still had to politely refuse. Sarah, I really have to keep working tonight, and I need to get up early tomorrow. I can't make it. Are you coming or not? If you don't, pay back everything you owe me right now. If you do come, I might consider forgiving some of it. Now she was threatening me. Sarah, we agreed. Cut the crap. Are you coming or not? I had to admit, I was tempted. If she really forgave part of the debt, it would be a huge relief. How much are you thinking of forgiving? 5,000, maybe. If you come in, behave well, I might consider forgiving even more. Behave well? What did that mean? What exactly did she expect me to do tonight? Sarah, you're kidding, right? I'm not kidding. Are you coming or not? I'll go. Threats and temptation. How could I refuse? After a month of making deliveries, I knew this city like the back of my hand. Following the location Sarah sent, I found the bar easily. Not wanting to embarrass her, I parked my electric delivery scooter down the street and took off my uniform jacket before heading inside. I scanned the crowd and finally spotted her in a corner, slumped over a table. One hand held a beer bottle, the other her phone, but her gaze was fixed on nothing. I hurried over. Sarah. Only then did I really see her. She was wearing a tight black dress that hugged her body, making her look incredibly slim and sexy. Below her neck, the dress revealed the pale skin of her collarbone, adorned with a platinum and diamond necklace. The first time I met her, she'd been wearing sunglasses. Seeing her properly today, my heart skipped a beat. I had to admit, Sarah was truly stunning. She looked up, her eyes hazy with drink. You're here? Sit. She nodded, then pushed the beer in front of her towards me. Drink. Sarah, I don't really drink, I said quickly. I thought she might insist, but she just snorted and waved a hand. A waiter approached. Get him a lemonade. The waiter nodded. Lemonade is 30 a glass. Shall I add it to your tab? I almost jumped out of my seat. 30 for lemonade? That's way too expensive. No thanks, just water is fine. He'll have the lemonade, she told the waiter, her tone leaving no room for argument. After the waiter left, I sighed. 30 for lemonade. That's robbery. Places like this just rip off rich people like you. Expensive? Sarah looked at me and smirked. Seems cheap to me. Let them rip me off. How much can they really take? As long as they treat me right, the money doesn't matter. I shook my head. The world of the rich really was beyond the comprehension of a broke guy like me. Sarah, if you say so, I said cheekily, looking at her expectantly. Then why don't you just forgive my debt too? No way. I sputtered. Sarah, you can't do that. You said on the phone you would. I said I'd consider it, depending on how you behave today. So, what do you want me to do? Keep me company. Make me happy. Make me laugh. Sarah pouted, putting on her spoiled rich girl act. And there I was, feeling like some guy hired to entertain her. I had to keep this woman happy, make her laugh, just so she might forgive the 10,000 plus I still owed her. Beggars can't be choosers. I was flat broke and my family was in debt. I had no choice but to swallow my pride and play along with this princess. Sarah, how about I tell you a joke? If you laugh, you forgive the debt, okay? I asked shamelessly. Fine, tell a joke. If you make me laugh, I'll knock off 1,000. My eyes lit up instantly. 1,000 yuan per laugh? 10 laughs and my debt was gone. This was a great deal. Okay, so one day, a sea turtle is walking on the beach and sees a crab also taking a walk. The turtle asks the crab, Buddy, why do you always walk sideways? What do you think the crab said? Sarah looked at me through hazy eyes and shook her head. I don't know. What did it say? The crab said, Dude, because I got claws and cash, so I do what I want. I burst out laughing. Sarah stared blankly for a second before the meaning finally clicked. She grabbed a handful of nuts from the table and threw them at me. Ethan, how dare you insult me? Are you calling me a crab? No, you're not willful at all. Nope, I didn't laugh. And now I'm mad. Not only do I not take off 1,000, but the 5,000 I was maybe going to forgive, add another 1,000 to it. Sarah declared angrily. I quickly held up my hands. Whoa, Sarah, don't do that. Let me tell you another one. It better be funny. Okay, so, one day, a rabbit walks into a bar and orders a drink from the bartender. The bartender asks curiously, "Aren't you afraid of getting caught by hunters?" What do you think the rabbit said? Sarah eyed me suspiciously. It didn't say because I'm rich, did it? I shook my head. Nope. The rabbit said, "Nah, because my whole family drinks." I chuckled again. Sarah didn't laugh. She threw another handful of nuts. Are you indirectly calling me a rabbit now? Sarah, I whined, my face falling. I'm just telling jokes. Why do you always take them personally? I racked my brain, telling every joke I knew. By the end, I was sweating buckets, but I still hadn't managed to make Sarah laugh. What I didn't expect was that a joke about love actually made her cry. Sobbing, she started ranting about how men were all idiots, couldn't even cheer a woman up. Seeing how drunk she really was, I quickly helped her up. Sarah, you're drunk. Let me take you home. Sarah threw her arms around my neck, her soft, warm body pressing against mine. Tell me, she whispered, her lips close to my ear. Do you want to sleep with me tonight? I froze. Were rich women really this direct? Even though she was beautiful and made my heart race, I wasn't stupid. I knew better than to mess with a woman like her. I wouldn't even know what hit me if things went south. I quickly shook my head. Sarah, you're kidding. I just want to get you home safely. I'm not going back. What's there to go back to? That house is so empty and cold. It's the middle of summer, I thought. How can it be cold? Are you just trying to get rid of me? She demanded, grabbing my collar and shaking me. Let me tell you, forget it. You're not going anywhere tonight. You have to stay with me. Sarah, I have to make deliveries tomorrow. I protested weakly. It was already past 11, and getting up around 6 would kill me. I don't care. Seeing she had latched onto me and wasn't letting go, I felt helpless. Then I remembered the guy I'd seen her with before. He must be her husband or boyfriend. Thinking quickly, I said, Sarah, why don't we call your boyfriend to come get you? Give me his number, I'll call him. Sarah seemed to mull over who I meant, then exclaimed, You mean that bastard John? Yes, John. I remembered hearing her call him that. Don't you dare call him. He's a total bastard, she shouted, and then started crying again. John, you bastard. You're just like all the other men, only after my family's money. I finally understood why Sarah was drinking alone. She must have fought with her boyfriend, John. Sarah, I should still take you home, I insisted gently. That night, with Sarah alternating between crying and yelling, my nerves were frayed. She still didn't want to leave. It took a lot of coaxing before she finally agreed. Can you drive? She asked. I just got my license. Haven't driven much. Good. I helped her down to the underground parking garage. She rummaged through her LV bag, finally pulling out a car key and handing it to me. I stared at it, stunned. The logo was Porsche. What are you gawking at? Go get the car. Sarah snapped. I quickly took the key and pressed the unlock button. A white Porsche sports car flashed its lights nearby. I walked her over, opened the passenger door, helped her in, and fastened her seatbelt. Sarah, maybe I should call a driving service? I don't think I can drive this. Sarah glared at me. Didn't you say you have a license? Stop wasting time and get in. I sighed and slid into the driver's seat, steeling myself. Sarah, maybe not. I'm afraid I'll scratch your car. I couldn't afford to fix it, even if I sold myself. Sarah just stared straight at me. Her intense gaze made me uneasy, wondering what she was thinking now. Do you really think I care if my car gets scratched? Even if it got totaled, I wouldn't care. I was baffled again. This car was worth at least $1 million, and she wouldn't care if it was destroyed? Then what did she care about? And why was she so hung up on my $20,000 debt? She waved her purse in front of my face. Do you know how much this bag costs? Tens of thousands, maybe. That's the regular kind. This one is diamond-encrusted, see? The diamonds alone are worth over $1 million. Then she fingered the necklace at her throat. This diamond necklace, over $1 million. She tugged at her skirt. And this dress is limited edition, over 100,000. As she pulled the fabric, the hem rode up her thigh, revealing the edge of her black underwear. I quickly grabbed her hand. This woman was acting way too familiar already. I was afraid in her drunken state, she might just take the whole dress off next. My dad bought me 3 of these sports cars just to make me happy. You think I care about a scratch? I was too stunned to speak. It's true what they say about poverty limiting your imagination. Everyone says I'm rich and so many people only get close to me for my money. But damn it, it's my birthday today, and not a single person remembered. It clicked. Today was her birthday. No wonder she'd asked me for a red envelope earlier that morning. And that bastard John, getting close to me, chasing me, dating me, wasn't it all for my family's money? Wasn't it so my dad would invest in his company? He doesn't actually love me at all, but I'm just so damn stupid. How did I fall for that asshole? I know damn well he's messing around with other women, but I still love him like crazy. She started crying again. But him? On my birthday, he tells me he's on a business trip. I know he hates me, doesn't want to be with me. He's probably screwing that other woman right now. Sarah sobbed as she spoke, spilling everything out, leaving me completely alone. The love lives of the rich really were explosive and dramatic. But I also started to feel a little sorry for her. It was her birthday, and here she was, drinking alone in a bar. My dad divorced my mom and married some official's daughter for the sake of his company, Sarah said. He feels guilty about me and my mom, so he just throws money at us. But today he completely forgot it was my birthday. Finally, she broke down completely, wailing, crying and shouting, "It's all fake. It's all fucking fake." At that moment, I don't know what possessed me, but I patted her arm. "Sarah, look, I skipped my deliveries today just to spend your birthday with you. How about you just forget about the money I owe you? You're so rich, you probably don't care about that little bit anyway." As soon as the words left my mouth, Sarah stopped crying instantly. She stared straight at me. Then she yelled, "Asshole, get lost." Of course, I didn't get lost. Carefully, following her instructions, I started the car and slowly drove out of the parking garage. My hands were trembling the whole way, but deep down, there was this strange excitement. Even though I'm broke, I got to drive a Porsche. On the road, I had to nudge her awake several times before I could finally figure out where she lived. When I reached her neighborhood, I was dumbstruck. She lived in one of the city's most famous villa districts. I heard a single villa here costs 60 or 70 million. Following her drunken directions, I finally managed to park the car in front of her villa. Then I helped her out of the car and into her house. The inside wasn't ostentatiously decorated. Instead, it was very simple. But I knew this kind of minimalist, almost austere style was the height of luxury. I didn't have time to admire the decor. I quickly asked her, "Sarah, is your bedroom upstairs or downstairs? Should I help you in? Do you want some water?" Unexpectedly, her eyes suddenly brightened. All trace of drunkenness vanished, and she perked up. "I'm not sleeping. It's still early. Why sleep so soon? You can play with me for a while." With that, she pulled me in her bedroom. I froze instantly, staring at her, my heart pounding wildly. What did she mean? Pulling me into her bedroom to play with her? Alone together, late at night, what kind of playing was she talking about? This woman was really something else. Instead of sleeping late at night, she actually dragged me in to play cards. And whoever lost had to drink. I said I didn't drink, and she said if I didn't drink, I had to take off my clothes. My mind went blank. Wasn't this blatant seduction? I pleaded with her repeatedly, begging her to let me leave, but she wouldn't listen. She started crying and making a scene, then threatened to make me pay back the money immediately. Left with no choice, I had to sacrifice myself and play card with her. Sarah brought out a bottle of red wine and 2 glasses. Then we sat on her bed and started playing Texas Hold'em. Rich people even play cards differently. Us regular folks play stuff like Do Di Ju or Sheng Ji, but they play Texas Hold'em. Still, Texas Hold'em was easy to pick up, and I quickly learned the rules. So we agreed, if you don't drink, you strip. Sarah looked at me, smiling. Her gaze made my face flush. How could she talk about stripping so casually? Didn't she know saying things like that would make the atmosphere incredibly awkward? "Sarah, maybe I should just go. It's late, and besides, I have deliveries tomorrow." I could imagine what might happen if the two of us stayed on the bed drinking. "Why are you so pathetic? Always thinking about your deliveries. If I don't make deliveries, how am I supposed to pay you back?" Sarah's eyes lit up as she grinned mischievously. "Spend one night with me, and I'll forgive another 5,000 of your debt." Okay, I worked my ass off delivering food all day for just a few $100, saving 5,000 in one go. Why wouldn't I? If I told you I was sitting on a bed with a rich woman playing cards, you probably wouldn't believe me. You might even assume when I said playing cards, I meant the other kind of playing cards. But I swear we were really just playing cards, Texas Hold'em. I initially thought since Texas Hold'em was easy to learn, it would be easy to play. Plus, Sarah had drunk so much at the bar. Surely she couldn't beat me. But as we played, I realized I'd been tricked. This woman had definitely played this game a lot. Her betting was incredibly shrewd, and she was very calculating. Before long, I'd drunk at least 5 glasses of red wine. Seeing how much I'd drunk, Sarah smiled. Can you still drink? If not, then you strip. Sarah, why do you want to strip so badly? Are you interested in me? I asked, feeling dizzy. Yeah, you're so handsome and so young. You must be really good in bed, she said, her hand brushing my arm, seemingly intentionally. Sarah, don't do that. I won't be able to control myself, I said quickly. Haha, look at you. I just love seeing you want something you can't have. This woman. But eventually, I got the hang of it and won several hand a row. She drank quite a bit too, added to what she'd already had at the bar. It wasn't long before she waved her hand dismissively, murmuring fuzzily, no more. I can't drink anymore. Sarah, if you don't drink, you strip. You said so. Sarah looked at me and snorted. Strip then? I dare to strip, do you dare to watch? I was pretty drunk by then too. I puffed out my chest and said, what's there not to dare? But just as the words left my mouth, Sarah collapsed onto the pillow. Moments later, she was fast asleep. I rarely drink, and after having so much, I couldn't handle it anymore either. I slumped onto the bed and passed out. I don't know how much time passed, but I felt someone slap my face. I opened my eyes and saw Sarah on top of me, looking down. Her hair fell across my face, tickling me. I quickly sat up. Sarah, sorry, I fell asleep. It was only then I realized it was already morning. Sarah had changed at some point. She was wearing pajamas now. Seeing I was still on her bed, I scrambled off, put on my shoes, feeling awkward and unsure what to do. She, however, seemed completely unfazed, just smiling. What are you so scared about? It's not like I did anything to you. I didn't do anything to you either, I stammered. Sarah burst out laughing. When she laughed like that, I was completely stunned. She was just so beautiful. Well, if there's nothing else, I'll get going. With that, I hurried out of her bedroom and went downstairs. She followed slowly behind me. I ordered some breakfast delivery, she said. Just wait, it'll be here soon. No, thanks, I'll go get something myself. Why are you being so difficult? What's the big deal about having breakfast with me? Besides, I should be thanking you for keeping me company while I drank last night, bringing me home, and, well, hanging out with me. She seemed too embarrassed to finish the sentence, blushing as she trailed off. All right, then. I felt a bit overwhelmed by the attention. She told me to go wash up in the bathroom. Just then, the front door opened, and John walked in. Sarah, I'm so sorry. I rushed as fast as I could, hoping to get back last night for your birthday, but my flight was delayed. I only got in this morning. I bought you breakfast, and later I'll take you shopping for a present, John said, handing Sarah a paper bag he was holding. Then he suddenly noticed me. He froze instantly, his expression changing dramatically. I nervously wiped my hands, not knowing what to say. If he found out I'd spent the night in the same place as his woman, sleeping in the same bed, he'd kill me, for sure. What are you doing here? Then he immediately whipped his head around to face Sarah, demanding loudly, Sarah, what is this damn delivery boy doing here? Tell me, what were you two doing? Sarah didn't seem nervous at all. She smiled sweetly, walked over to me, and linked her arm through mine. Cold sweat broke out on my back instantly. This woman, wasn't she trying to get me killed? He kept me company while I drank last night, and then he brought me home, Sarah said with a teasing look. Oh, right, we also had a few drinks here home last night, and then he stayed over. Pausing, Sarah looked at John with a smirk. Do you want to know what we did last night? John's face was pale with rage. Before Sarah could say more, he roared, Shut up. Just shut the hell up. Seeing John furious and flustered, Sarah looked like she just won a battle. John, are you the only one allowed to mess around with other women? Can't I find a man too? John looked livid, but then his eyes shifted, and he chuckled contemptuously. Sarah, do you really think bringing some loser delivery boy here to piss me off is funny? Hearing him call me a loser delivery boy made me instantly furious. What's wrong with being a delivery guy? So what if I don't make much money? Watch your mouth, Sarah sniffed. What's wrong with being a delivery guy? He's a top student at a prestigious university, you know? It's called working his way through school, and I happen to like guys like him. You weren't even as good as him back then. John was trembling with anger. Sarah, you're disgusting. Getting some pretty boy toy to keep you company. Not as disgusting as you. Still stringing along your ex-girlfriend. Sarah paused, then said through gritted teeth, John, we're finished. Let's break up. Hearing Sarah mention breaking up, John panicked. Sarah, you've really misunderstood. Nothing happened with her, I swear. Can you stop making a scene? Sorry, I'm not making a scene. It's just that I have a new boyfriend now. As she spoke, Sarah leaned closer against me. I saw the murderous look in John's eyes. I knew right then he wanted to tear me limb from limb. This woman, Sarah, was ruthless, using me to provoke John without any regard for my safety. But then again, what the hell was I afraid of? This John guy kept calling me a loser delivery boy, like I owed him any respect. Thinking this, I puffed out my chest and gave a smug smile. John looked at the two of us, took a deep breath, suppressed his anger, and forced a smile at Sarah. Sarah, I know you're just trying to make me jealous. You two have known each other for such a short time. It's impossible. I know you. Don't be angry anymore. Saying this, he reached out to pull Sarah towards him. Sarah immediately pushed him away. John, were you really on a business trip yesterday? Yes, really. I really was on a business trip. Look, I'll show you my plane ticket. He pulled a ticket from his pocket and held it out for Sarah to see. Only then did Sarah's expression soften slightly. John, there's really nothing going on between Erin and me. She just needed something from me that day. She contacted me first. Watching John's pathetic, groveling display, I felt a surge of disgust. Is that so? In that case, delete her phone number and her WeChat contact right here in front of me. Okay, I'll delete them right now. I'll do it right in front of you. John took out his phone. No, let me do it. Sarah held out her hand. Give me your phone. John hesitated for a moment, but finally had no choice but to hand his phone over to Sarah. Right there in front of us, Sarah spent a good 10 minutes or more going through his phone, deleting every single trace of that Erin. Sarah, are you satisfied now? John asked with a forced smile. Sarah just sniffed and didn't say anything else. Then John turned to me, sneering. All right, kid, you're not needed anymore. Get lost. Hearing that, I had the urge to punch him. Damn it, don't think I'm scared of you just because you've got a little money. I started to step forward, but Sarah grabbed my arm. How dare you talk like that? She said to John. Who are you telling to get lost? This is my house, not yours. John quickly put on an apologetic smile again. Sarah, stop being difficult. I know you're just using him to make me mad. I bought you breakfast. Come on, let's eat. I'm not hungry. You should go. Don't you have to work? Seeing Sarah trying to kick John out made me inwardly chuckle. You? What about him? John pointed at me. What happens with him is none of your business. If I want him to stay, that's my decision. Sarah sniffed. And John, don't think I've forgiven you. Let me tell you, I will never forgive you. John looked like he wanted to say something else, but just then his phone rang. He answered it, glanced at Sarah, then looked back at me. His eyes were filled with fury when he looked at me. Kid, he spat, I'll let you off today, but don't let me catch you again. Then he glanced back at Sarah, forcing another smile. Sarah, I have to go to the office for a meeting. I'll be back later. We can eat then. With that, he turned and left. After the door slammed shut, I quickly pushed Sarah away. Sarah burst out laughing, looking smug. Sarah, you two can fight all you want, but you can't just use me as a shield, right? I complained, my face falling. Unexpectedly, Sarah suddenly planted a firm kiss on my cheek. I jumped back, startled. Sarah, stop getting me into trouble. If that bastard John came back suddenly and saw you like this, he'd kill me. Are you scared of him? Of course I'm not scared of him, I said immediately. Sarah chuckled, letting out a satisfied sigh. That felt so good, you know. I've never felt so satisfied, seeing him furious but unable to do anything about it. It made me so happy. I never thought he'd see this day. I looked at this strange woman. Sarah, don't you think you're loving him too desperately? Debasing yourself like this. What can I do? I love him, Sarah sighed. Forget deleting his ex-girlfriend from his phone. I need his permission just to look at his phone these days. Hearing this left me even more speechless. She was really giving rich, beautiful women a bad name. My biggest weakness is that I'm too soft-hearted. Every time I get angry, as soon as he coaxes me a little, I immediately make up with him, terrified he'll leave me. Today felt really good, letting off all that steam. She looked at me and smiled. Ethan, thank you so much. I could only be this ruthless because you were here. I sighed inwardly. She felt good, but I had definitely pissed John off this time. I didn't expect him to get so worked up seeing you. Let him get a taste of what it feels like to lose me. I said, people are like that, aren't they? They don't cherish what they get easily, but they obsess over what they can't have. You're right. Sarah looked at me approvingly. Back then, I just made it too easy for him to win me over. Just then, the doorbell rang. The breakfast she'd ordered had arrived. While we were eating breakfast, Sarah suddenly said to me, Ethan, how about you do me a favor? What is it? Keep up the act with me. I want to really make John angry. Make him learn to cherish me. No way. I refused immediately, without even thinking. This woman was trying to push me into the fire. John might even hire someone to come after me. How could a college student like me possibly win against someone like John? Why not? Sarah looked at me, feigning innocence. Sarah, you're debasing yourself for him. With your looks and money, you could find anyone. Why does it have to be John? Sarah sighed and said softly, Yeah, I guess I'm just pathetic. Why insist on banging my head against this one wall? Seeing her like this, I quickly said, Sarah, that's not what I meant. Besides, I don't have time. I still have deliveries to make. I will make you do it for free. Not only will I forget about the money you owe me, but I'll also pay you for your time. But, hearing that she'd cancel my debt and pay me, I was instantly tempted. Hold on. Seeing I was wavering, she immediately stood up, found a pen and paper, and wrote out a receipt right in front of me, stating that she had received the full amount I owed her and the debt was cleared. Then she took out her phone and transferred 2,000 yuan to me. This is your pay for today. Take it. You don't need to make deliveries today. Her actions left me stunned. Rich people really threw money around. Debt cleared, plus 2,000 yuan earned. I felt an exhilarating sense of having turned the tables. Okay, I'll call my supervisor and ask for the day off. I didn't dare get on my beautiful boss's bad side now. Seeing me make the call, Sarah nodded with satisfaction. Then, at the breakfast table, Sarah began telling me her story with John. Before college, Sarah lived with her mother. Coming from a divorced, single-parent home, Sarah had carried a certain sadness since childhood. However, her father sent generous monthly support payments to her and her mother, so she grew up comfortably, never worrying about necessities. After she started college, her father began to acknowledge her more openly, buying her a car and an apartment. That was when Sarah realized she was what people called a second-generation rich kid. But her father often warned her not to easily trust people who approached her, saying they were likely after either her looks or her money. Because of this, Sarah remained single throughout college. Having lacked a father's love growing up, she deeply yearned for a man's affection. Yet, she suspected anyone who got close was just after her wealth. Then John appeared. Sarah had already graduated from college by then. John pursued her passionately, making her truly feel loved. He was her first love, but she wasn't his. John had been in relationships before her, more than once. And Erin, the woman Sarah mentioned today, was his ex-girlfriend. Apparently, Erin was very beautiful, but Sarah didn't know why they had broken up. Hearing this part, I sighed inwardly. Was this woman really that naive? Wasn't it obvious? John must have broken up with his ex-girlfriend because of Sarah. Sarah had always believed John was completely loyal to her. Only later did she find out that he had gotten together with her partly so her father would invest in his startup company. When he first brought up the idea, Sarah was angry, feeling used. But eventually, she gave in and asked her father to invest money in his company. Who would have guessed that one time Sarah dropped by his company unexpectedly, she found a woman sitting in his office, his ex-girlfriend, Erin. John later explained that Erin had just come to borrow money, and Sarah didn't think much more about it. Maybe I really was too stupid. I didn't think too deeply about it, Sarah sighed as she said this. I also thought Sarah was pretty naive. Later, she discovered John secretly chatting with Erin on WeChat and even having video calls. She confronted John about it, but he swore there was nothing going on between them. And as soon as he coaxed her, she immediately agreed to make up. Hearing this, I sighed inwardly again. This woman was completely love-struck. But that bastard John was going too far. Whatever his reasons for getting with Sarah initially, he couldn't just two-time her like this. Sarah's eyes reddened as she spoke. Actually, I've thought about just breaking up with John. I can't stand this humiliation. But we've been together for so long. There are definitely feelings involved. How can you just break up like that? Besides, he adamantly refuses to break up with me and swears up and down that he's never betrayed me. He was clearly lying to her. Ethan, please help me. Make him realize my worth. Make him want to be with me devotedly, okay? Looking at Sarah, I didn't know what to say. This woman loved him so desperately, so humbly. So how should I help you? Sarah chuckled slyly and said, just pretend to pursue me. Make him feel threatened. I froze. Pretend to pursue her? That wasn't exactly my forte. Back in my dorm, I pulled out my phone and started looking up tutorials on how to woo women. Don't laugh, but I'd never actually pursued a girl before. Total novice. After watching some videos, I immediately called Sarah. I told her I was okay with the acting plan, but there had to be a budget. Hearing this, Sarah chuckled and nodded. No problem. Just tell me how much you need. Buying flowers, maybe some jewelry, taking you out on dates. That's going to add up. How about this? Cover the smaller expenses yourself for now, and I'll reimburse you. For bigger things, you can get an advance. With that settled, we started putting the plan into action. The next day, Sarah mentioned John would be at her place. I immediately ordered a bouquet of 999 roses and had the florist deliver it. I also included a card that said, Sarah, I was smitten the moment I saw you. I like you. I couldn't help but grin, imagining the look on John's face when he saw that. That bastard had humiliated me so badly before. I finally had a chance to get back at him. Sure enough, Sarah called me that evening. She was laughing hysterically on the other end. You have no idea. When John saw the flowers in the card, he was furious. His face turned green. He kept demanding to know who sent them. So what did you tell him? I said it was you, of course. I sighed. I'd really gotten myself into something now. Who knew what John would do to me? So, does he feel threatened? I asked her. Deeply, Sarah said smugly. He looks at me completely differently now. Satisfied? Satisfied? Very satisfied. All right then, let's settle up. The flowers cost $1,500 total. I'll send you the receipt later. You can reimburse me. Buzzkill, Sarah retorted over the phone. Sending flowers was just the beginning. Then one afternoon, I deliberately waited until John went to Sarah's company to see her, standing downstairs with another bouquet. I forgot to mention, Sarah owns her own media company, specializing in advertising. Hers doing pretty well. That day, something happened outside Sarah's company building that everyone inside talked about for days. When Sarah came out after work with John, walking with the crowd, I immediately went up to them. Right there, in front of everyone, I handed Sarah the flowers. Sarah, I like you. Please say yes. As I said this, I dropped to one knee and pulled a small box out of my pocket. Inside was a ring we had bought together. Seeing a public proposal, all the office workers, usually cooped up inside, lit up. They crowded around, pulling out their phones and snapping pictures like crazy. Sarah pretended to be surprised and overjoyed, covering her mouth with her hand to hide her smile. John, meanwhile, was livid, his face practically green. He was trembling all over. He stormed up to me and grabbed my collar. You damn delivery boy. You just don't quit, do you? Do you believe I could kill you right now? Seeing John, I instantly flared up. I couldn't stand this bastard. Go on, kill me. With all these people watching, go ahead. Is it wrong for me to pursue a girl? She's my goddamn woman. Is she married to you? No. Then why can't I pursue her? I shot back rapidly. Seeing two men about to fight over a woman made the crowd even more excited. The onlookers weren't just watching. They were pointing and gossiping. Some people were on my side, others supported John. And Sarah, the woman at the center of it all, looked like a blissfully happy young girl, head bowed shyly. But anyone could see she was secretly gloating. She must have felt like the luckiest woman alive right then. Ethan, you son of a bitch, you're asking for it. John snarled, throwing a punch at me. I dodged his fist and kicked out at him. Just like that, we started fighting. The guy was all bark and no bite. He looked tall, but he had no strength. I took him down easily in just a few moves. Caught up in the moment, I straddled him and started punching and kicking. The surrounding crowd started cheering. John's face was beet red with fury, but he was powerless against me. It felt incredible. This guy had constantly humiliated me, and today I finally got my revenge. Eventually, it was Sarah who pulled us apart. All right, John, just go. Haven't you embarrassed yourself enough? Sarah told him. John dusted himself off, wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and pointed at me. Kid, you just wait. This isn't over. With that, he walked towards his Mercedes parked by the roadside. Seeing the show was over, the crowd dispersed. When it was just the two of us, I said to Sarah, "So, Sarah, was the performance today convincing enough?" Sarah smiled and nodded. Not bad at all. I didn't realize you were such a good actor. It's a waste you're not doing this professionally. So what now? Dinner. My treat. Sarah grinned. That evening, Sarah took me to a very expensive local seafood restaurant. During the meal, she deliberately took a photo and posted it to her social media feed. But I noticed she didn't seem very enthusiastic during dinner. She barely touched the food, which must have cost thousands, acting like she had no appetite. I, on the other hand, didn't care. I'd never eaten such a huge lobster in my life. When I finished eating, she glanced at me, somewhat coldly, and said, "Finished. Let's go." I wiped my mouth and left the seafood restaurant with her. After walking a few steps, she suddenly said, "Ethan, let's call it a night here. I have something else to do. You can head back on your own." I didn't think much of it, said goodbye, and turned to leave. After walking a little way, I glanced back and saw John had shown up somehow. He was standing beside her, talking. I stopped in my tracks, a sour feeling rising in my chest. But then I thought about it and gave a self-deprecating chuckle. Sarah and I were just acting, after all. She just wanted to piss off that jerk John. She never intended to break up with him. I just needed to do my job properly. How could I get caught up in the act and start taking it seriously? I knew all along that Sarah and I were from different worlds. She was paying me to do something for her. I was just hired help. So I went back to delivering food, waiting for Sarah to call when she needed me to act again. One afternoon, while I was waiting for an order on a food street, I suddenly saw a van speeding towards me. Before I could react, it screeched to a halt beside me, and several guys piled out. Seeing them, my heart sank. Shit, I thought. I jumped off my electric scooter and turned to run. Unfortunately, I didn't get more than a few steps before they caught me. "Kid, do you know who you messed with?" the leader sneered. I nodded. "I know. Who else could it be but John?" "Good that you know. Get him." A few guys held me down and started punching and kicking me. I tried to fight back, but there were too many of them. I didn't stand a chance. Eventually, a few other delivery guys gathered around. Even though John called them stinking delivery guys, they still stepped in when they saw one of their own getting beaten up. Seeing the group forming, John's guys got a little scared and stopped. "Kid, remember why you got beat up today? Learn your lesson," the leader spat out before leaving. After their van drove off, one of the delivery guys helped me up. "Hey man, you okay?" I wiped the blood from my face, grimacing in pain. "Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks, guys. Who'd you piss off?" I paused, then gave a wry smile. "Just some asshole." That night, Sarah called me. She said she wanted to continue the act. I agreed immediately, without a second thought. This time, she wanted me to wait outside her house, so John would see me getting into her car. I arrived outside her gated community at the agreed-upon time. Before long, John's car pulled up beside me. John got out of his Mercedes, looked at my bruised and swollen face, and smirked. "Kid, you still dare to show up? Guess you haven't learned your lesson." I scoffed. "John, if you got guts, compete fairly. What kind of man attacks someone secretly?" "Compete fairly?" John laughed as if he'd heard the funniest joke. "What makes you think you can compete with me? Got money? Connections? Sarah doesn't care about that." "Haha, kid, don't be naive." Just then, Sarah's car pulled up next to me. "Ethan, get in." Sarah nodded at me, signaling me to get into the car. I shot John a smug look, opened the car door, and slid in. John's eyes blazed with anger. He looked like he wanted to strangle me. On impulse, I turned, put my arm around Sarah's head, and kissed her. Softness, dizziness. Just like that, my first kiss was gone. Sarah clearly hadn't expected me to do that. She started to push me away, but then her hand dropped. Then I turned back to John and grinned. Sarah looked at John too, her expression complicated. John's face went deathly pale, as if he'd been struck by lightning. Sarah didn't say anything. She just slammed on the gas and sped off. After driving for a while, Sarah turned down a secluded alley and stopped the car. "Ethan, you went a little too far back there," Sarah said, sounding slightly annoyed. I was taken aback for a second, then sneered. "What? Didn't you want me to act? Doesn't acting have to be convincing?" Sarah sighed and didn't reply. After a long pause, she finally asked, "What happened to your face? Who hit you? Who do you think? I almost got myself killed playing along with your act." For some reason, a surge of anger washed over me. "I'm sorry, Ethan. I was wrong. I shouldn't have dragged you into this." I wave her off. "Forget it. What's the point of saying that now?" Just then, she suddenly pulled me towards her and kissed me. I was completely caught off guard. What the hell was she doing now? But in that instant, my mind went completely blank. I couldn't think of anything. After a moment, Sarah pushed me away and smiled. "Consider it compensation. Not angry anymore." I blushed and stammered, "Oh, can we add another 5 minutes? Get lost. Or you could pay my medical bills for me, instead of John. Oh, and my fee for this performance." Since she wasn't adding 5 minutes, I figured I might as well bring up the money. Sarah just stared at me blankly, lost in thought. Finally, she sighed, "Ethan, you really are something." She trailed off, shook her head, picked up her phone, and transferred some money to me. As it happened, school started that day, so I stopped doing deliveries. I had Sarah drop me off at the school gate. Sarah drove me to the school gate in her sports car. As she left, I waved goodbye. She smiled back, hit the gas, and drove off. The other students stared at me, their faces a mixture of envy, jealousy, and maybe a little hate. Head held high, I walked onto campus. After that day, I didn't see Sarah for a long time. She didn't message me either. Since the semester had just started, I had a ton of things to deal with, so I didn't think much about it. But for some reason, I felt an emptiness inside. One day, lying on the campus lawn with my roommate, watching couples walk by, I suddenly realized how much I miss Sarah, but I told myself not to get my hopes up. Why would someone like her ever fall for me? Yeah, how could she possibly be interested in me? Back then, she was just using me. I really wanted to pull out my phone and send her a WeChat message, but I stopped myself. A month after school started, the National Day holiday arrived. Since I hadn't gone home over the summer break, I planned to visit my parents. Bored on the high-speed train, I was scrolling through my phone. Suddenly, I saw a new post from Sarah on my Moments feed. It was a picture with 3 words. The photo showed 2 hands, fingers intertwined, with a ring on the ring finger. The caption read, "Engaged." Seeing her post, I froze for a long time, my mind completely blank. Finally, I let out a long breath and gave a bitter smile. It looked like our act had really worked. That guy John must have finally felt threatened and realized Sarah's value. He probably proposed to Sarah not long after our last performance. Regardless, Sarah got what she wanted, so I guess congratulations were in order. I turned my head to watch the scenery speeding past outside the train window. Suddenly, my eyes stung and a tear rolled down my cheek. Still, I had to thank Sarah. Playing along with her act a few times had at least earned me enough money for a year's tuition and living expenses. Then, unable to resist, I left her a comment, "Congrats." I spent the next few days of the holiday at home with my family, catching up with high school friends over drinks and meals, enjoying myself. Unexpectedly, one evening while I was taking a walk with my parents on the streets of our county town, I got a call. It was Sarah. I quickly stepped aside to answer it. "Ethan, where are you? Can you come out for a drink with me?" I wasn't sure what to tell her. I hadn't expected her to call me for drinks, especially now. Wasn't she engaged? "Sorry, I went back to my hometown for the holiday. I'm not there." "Oh, okay." Sarah sounded a little disappointed. Neither of us said anything else. After a moment of silence, Sarah said, "Well, I'll hang up then." Putting the phone away, I felt a sense of loss. Since then, I haven't contacted Sarah. Occasionally, I'd see her posts on social media, still the usual reflections and food pictures. Thinking about what happened between us back then, it feels like a lifetime ago. My mom's recent illness made me realize my future responsibilities. So, I spent all my time either in the classroom or the library, keeping myself busy every day. In the blink of an eye, it was New Year's Day. Because of the holiday, everyone in the dorm went out. I was lying in bed alone, playing on my phone. Then, I saw Sarah's post. It was wedding photos with John. Looking at Sarah in the pictures, I realized how unfamiliar she seemed. A month later, I saw pictures from Sarah's actual wedding on her feed. She was wearing a white wedding dress, standing face to face with John. But since winter break was approaching and I was busy studying for finals, I didn't think much of it, just put my phone aside and went back to my books. The events of the summer, though only 6 months ago, felt like a hazy dream. As time went on, the dream would fade more and more, eventually becoming just a shadow. But unexpectedly, the night after my last final, while I was packing to go home the next morning, Sarah suddenly called me. "Ethan, where are you?" Her voice on the other end was very low, like she was troubled or maybe drunk. I really wanted to tell her I was already home for the break. Hearing her voice gave me a bad feeling, but I still said, "In the dorm. Come have a drink with me." "Now?" "Yes. Don't try to get out of it. I'm sending you the address now." Then she hung up abruptly. The next second, she sent me her location via WeChat. Staring at my phone, I hesitated for a moment, then sighed, put on my winter coat, and left the dorm. It was the same bar, the same spot. I saw her as soon as I walked in. This time she was wearing a white sweater, slumped over the table alone again, phone in one hand, beer in the other. I walked up to her and called out, "Sarah?" Sarah looked up, her eyes hazy with drink, and grinned. "Long time no see. Still handsome as ever." He sighed and sat down. "Waiter, a lemonade," Sarah called out to the server. "Just bring me a beer," I said. Sarah looked at me and shook her head. "No, get the lemonade." Looking at her, so recently a bride, I didn't know what to say. Finally, I just managed. "Sarah, congratulations on your marriage." "Happy my ass." Sarah scowled and tipped her beer back. Then she stared at me. "Ethan, remember last time we were here, you told me a joke?" I shook my head. "I told you a lot of jokes that night. Too bad you didn't laugh at any of them. The one about the boy and girl swimming." I thought for a moment, then slowly began to tell it to her. One day, a boy went swimming with his girlfriend. The boy couldn't swim, so his girlfriend was teaching him. After swimming for a while, the boy suddenly asked his girlfriend, "Honey, if I were drowning, would you save me?" The girl said confidently, "Of course. I'm a great swimmer." The boy asked again, "What if I could swim and I was drowning? Would you save me then?" The girl paused, then said, "If you were really drowning, I'd sink down with you until you floated back up again." When I finished the joke, Sarah burst out laughing. She laughed until she shook, laughed until tears filled her eyes, and finally, her laughter turned into sobbing. I watched her cry, slumped over the table for a long time without saying a word. Finally, she wiped her tears and said to me with a smile, "Ethan, thank you." "No, I should be thanking you. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have earned a year's worth of tuition and living expenses," I told her seriously. She rolled her eyes at me. "You're so unromantic, always talking about money." Then she stood up, swaying slightly. "Let's go. Take me home." That night, I didn't take her back to her villa. She pulled me out of the bar, hailed a cab right off the street, and we went to a hotel. That night, Sarah took my virginity. It was crazy. The next morning, she gently slapped my face to wake me up, then looked at me and said, "Ethan, do me a favor. Is this a transaction?" I asked after hearing her out. She avoided my gaze. "Not really, just helping me out." "Of course, if you want to think of it as a transaction, that's fine too." I sighed. "You guys just got married. Do you really have to do this?" "Don't give me that. Just tell me if you'll help me or not." I looked at Sarah, completely naked, and finally nodded. That morning, I went to the electronics market alone and bought several pinhole cameras. Then Sarah drove me to a 3-bedroom apartment. This is the apartment John bought before we got married. After the wedding, he moved into my villa. He told me he rented this place out, but I know he's lying. Sarah entered the code and opened the electronic lock. "He thought I didn't know the code," Sarah said coldly. "He really underestimates me." Looking at Sarah, I didn't know what to say in that moment. I suddenly realized I didn't really know her at all. She wasn't as naive as I thought. Standing in the doorway, she took out 2 pairs of white gloves and handed 1 pair to me. This is like something out of a movie. It's not necessary." I didn't take the gloves and walked straight into the apartment. An hour later, we left the complex. In the car, I set up the camera feed and showed it to her on my phone. "Good. Ethan, while you're on break, keep an eye on your phone whenever you can. If anything happens, make sure you record it. Sarah, this won't get me involved, will it?" For some reason, I felt uneasy. "Don't worry, I won't mention you. I just want proof that John is cheating so I can divorce him." Sarah said, looking at me, "If you're really worried, you can name a price. 500,000, a million, whatever. Let's talk about it after this is over," I said, then pushed open the car door and got out. As I walked away, I could feel Sarah's eyes fixed on my back, making my skin crawl. Thinking about the wild night I'd spent with her, I felt nauseous. Throughout the winter break, my mom nagged me every day, saying all I did since coming home was stare at my phone and never help her with chores. If she knew what I was actually doing on my phone, I wonder what she would think. After the new year, when school started again, I copied the videos from my phone onto a USB drive, called Sarah, and arranged to meet her. Then I handed her the USB drive. "Is everything on here?" Sarah asked. I nodded. "Well, did you catch anything?" "See for yourself," I said, standing up. Seeing I was about to leave, Sarah quickly pulled out a piece of paper and handed it to me. I took it and saw it was a check. The amount was a 1 followed by 6 zeros. 1,000,000. "Thank you. This is your payment," Sarah told me. I thought for a moment, smiled, and handed the check back to her. "Sorry, I don't want this money. I've already received my payment from you." Sarah blushed and said softly, "If you still want to, we could go to a hotel right now. Honestly, young guys really are good." "Goodbye," I said, then turned and left. 2 months later, on a Saturday afternoon, I was leaving my dorm heading for the library when I suddenly heard someone call my name from behind. I turned around and saw John standing there, watching me with a blank expression. Seeing him, my face changed. So, the guy had finally found me. John looked exhausted, devoid of his previous arrogance. He seemed slumped and worn out, and instead of his shiny leather shoes, he was wearing a pair of dusty sneakers. "What do you want?" I asked him warily. He forced a smile. "Can I talk to you for a minute?" I nodded. "Okay." We found an empty corner to stand in. "So, what did you want to talk about?" I asked him. He looked down, seeming to gather his thoughts, then finally looked up and asked, "Those videos of me and Aaron, you got them for Sarah, didn't you?" "What makes you think it was me?" I asked non-committally. Of course, I couldn't admit it. "Actually, it doesn't matter whether you admit it or not." He seemed to see through me and smiled forgivingly. "It's over. Nothing matters anymore." I was taken aback and quickly asked, "What do you mean? What's over?" He looked at me, surprised. "You don't know?" "Know what?" John gave a bitter smile. "She actually didn't tell you." "Well, let me tell you. Sarah and I got divorced." I wasn't that surprised. "That woman took half my assets. She's left me in a real mess," John said, looking at me. "Wait, she actually took your assets? What do you think? Didn't she marry me just to covet my wealth?" John shook his head with a wry smile. "I still got played by her. But her family is rich. Isn't her dad loaded?" John looked at me like I was an idiot. "Her dad's money isn't her money. Besides, her dad lives with her stepmother, and there are other kids. How could her stepmother let her dad keep giving her money indefinitely?" I was stunned. I hadn't thought of that. Before the wedding, her dad had already cut her off financially. She didn't tell me. I thought. He trailed off, shaking his head. Looking back now, I was so stupid. I thought she was some naive woman. I never expected her to be so calculating. "But honestly, weren't you with her for her family's money in the first place?" John snorted. "Of course I was. Why else would I have been with her?" "So why did you come looking for me today?" John looked at me and chuckled. "Relax. I'm not here to cause trouble for you. I just wanted to tell you that, like me, you've been played by Sarah." I didn't say anything, just stared at him, waiting for him to continue. "Did you really think she cared about that 20,000 yuan in compensation? Let me tell you, the moment she saw your student ID, she started plotting to use you. She wanted to take advantage of the fact you're a computer science student and knows about surveillance." "I don't know what you're talking about." "You know damn well you do. Let me tell you, everything she did since then was leading up to this. Playing games to provoke me? That was all fake. You and I are the same, just pawns she used. Of course, you came out better. You didn't lose anything to her deception. Maybe you even got money and slept with her. But she scammed me out of half my assets. Enough for her to live comfortably for the rest of her life." John got angrier as he spoke, and I thought he might actually hit me. But he didn't. After saying his piece, he just patted my shoulder. "Ethan, I just came to warn you. Don't get mixed up with her again. You can't win against her. Who knows? One day, she might even end up killing you." With that, he turned and left. I watched his back disappear into the crowd, then turned and headed towards the library.